Hello and welcome back to Pokémon White version, where today we are going to make use of our new and better Fire Monkey to go do things. I mean, I'm just glad we got a better Fire Monkey. And we are still going to be looking for a shiny Ho-Oh in the background. Did put the new Fire Monkey in the party, right? Sure did. Though admittedly, I probably should keep Sandile in the lead because the next gym, Sandile's going to be pretty good for us. Not perfect, but pretty good. Now that I'm actually at the start of a stream instead of at the end of one, it's time to actually go looking around for trainers to battle here. We haven't gone down here. You've been caught by a powerful hook, which is me. I'll have a battle with you using my freshly caught Pokemon. Doesn't this game make us wait like a ridiculously long time to get access to a fishing rod? I'm really starting to regret having gotten rid of Mega Drain. Look at this guy, caught both forms of Basculin in a single version of the game. How'd he do that? That's odd. Just got a bit of a hitch in the stream preview. And then OBS said that there's an encoding overload, which shouldn't be. Unless at some point OBS decided to change its own settings on me without my input. Let's see here. Though even if it did, I don't know what I'd be able to do about it right now, and no, it's on AV1. Yeah, don't know. I usually release the Pokemon I catch. That's called catch and release. When I release them, I say these words. Farewell, Pokemon. It was a nice fight. I'll say these words to you, too. It was a nice fight. And now I'm going to go heal up after said fight. because my Petalil isn't doing so hot. And she is going to be useful for the next fisherman. Okay, good catch, good catch. My next catch will be called Victory. So close. Oh, good job, Sandstorm. Nice assist. Another fisherman who managed to catch both forms of Basculin in a single version. Don't you dare flinch me. Good. Ah, but that one managed to take a bit more. I think I need a heal if I want to not lose my Petalil. But then again, why do I need to heal? I can just swap Pokemon. Gonna be hitting up the bed next after this battle anyway. So Magical Leaf can't miss and has base 60 power. At this point in the game, it probably is better than Grass Knot. Grass Knot will be better later. But I think Magical Leaf does win right now. Actually, hang on. Let me look that up. I don't know what range of power Grass Knot can have. Okay, Pokemon have to be at least 25.1 kilograms for Grass Knot to be equal to Magical Leaf, but that includes Pokemon like... Wow, Tentacool is surprisingly heavy. Honestly, there are a lot of Pokemon in this weight category. I should be looking at what is lighter. And the answer is actually, yeah, quite a lot of early form Pokemon. Quite a lot. A whole lot, actually. Alright, yeah, let's replace Grass Knot with Magical Leaf. And just out of curiosity, Basculin is 39.7 pounds, so it is, in fact, light enough that Magical Leaf is better than Grass Knot. How many Basculins does this guy have? The answer is 4. And I think another Roost will be good. I was kind of hoping it would Aqua Jet again. Would result in fewer overheals and less missing health at the end of the turn. Catch, caught, and catch again. Life is fishing. I don't know that I agree with life being fishing. Pretty sure life and fishing are two different things. Though one can certainly be part of the other. Shame, I want to level this Sandile, but there's no particularly good place to do it right now. Like, what are my options? Continue here where everything is ground type and therefore I don't have any good moves for them. Potentially grass type in the form of Maractus. I guess if we get lucky and find Darumaka's, which, yeah, that's a 40% chance here, then Sandile is able to beat them just fine. And then my other option is I could go back to Pinwheel Forest, where there's grass types all over. I can't see up ahead because of the sandstorm. Because I can't see, I'll have a battle with you. I don't see how one of those should lead to the other. So, Sandile is not going to sit in front of this Timpole. Of course it landed the supersonic. Of course it did. Probably would have been better off using basically anything other than Leech Seed. Alright, Pedalo, I'm gonna need you to break out of your confusion here. Or at least get through it. There you go. Yeah, 100%. I should have just never even touched Leech Seed. So we've had 4 turns of confusion and hit ourselves on 2 of them. Well, Supersonic isn't going to bode well for our ability to continually use Fury Cutter. Yep, so much for that. We get one more Rock Smash through, we win this battle. Come on, do not hit yourself again. Good. This parasol keeps off the sun and rain, but it can't stand up to sandstorms. Ah, my tears are falling on Route 4. The encounter rate in this sand seems remarkably low. So close. And of course, its sand attacks are going to work. If memory serves, this route is actually kind of fantastic for EV training attack. What with having Darumaka, Sandile, and Scraggy. Not that I'm going to bother EV training. We've already battled him. And him. We're not allowed to climb these ladders. And that's the end of this little path. Yeah, the encounter rate on this sand is remarkably low. Deep in the desert ahead of here, at the desert resort, there are some ruins that have become a little tourist destination. Well, at a time like this, let's have a Pokemon battle. Oh, hey, he's got a monkey. I want to start using mine, but when battling ground and fire type things, a fire type monkey isn't exactly amazing. No, Mr. Backpacker, this was not my favorite Pokemon. It's just the one that I have in front. And that I need to get some XP on for the next gym. Wherever I go in the world, I have Pokemon battles. Once I ask about someone's favorite Pokemon, we soon become friends. That is 2 wild Scraggies in a row, when they are the rarest thing on this route at 20%, whereas Darumaka and Sandile are both 40%, and I have yet to find a wild Darumaka on this route. I found it on the next area. Let's get Duat some XP. Don't want to leave a dark type in front of a fighting type, but while the correct answer would probably be to swap to our flying type, we are going with our water type because Duat needs XP too. That was an unnecessary crit, Duat, but you do you. We had been swaggered and used a super effective Rock Smash. It was gonna go down, crit or no. My travel partner is a Pokemon that a popular guidebook recommended. And why did they recommend specifically Cottony? Seems an odd choice. What would make Cottony good as a travel partner? We have an opportunity to use Monkey. Now we just gotta hope that Hustle doesn't ruin our accuracy too much. Looks like we're fine. Good job, Monkey. According to the popular guidebook, Nimbasa City is an entertainment city. It must be full of fun. Where did you come from? Me? Well, if you can win, I'll tell you. Oh boy, time for Monkey to show up again. This was her first battle? To tell you the truth, I just left Castelia City yesterday. I've just started Pokemon battling too. Odd place to start Pokemon battling, not gonna lie. The fun of traveling around the world is having serious battles with a lot of Pokemon I meet. Oh, hey. Something we get to leave Sandile in for. Wish we had something better than Sand Tomb to use against it. Still gonna use it, but I'm going to wish I had better. Oh, never mind. Sand Tomb is fine. No, we don't need Embargo. Embargo is nearly useless during a solo playthrough. As long as my Pokemon are with me, I can battle trainers all over the world. The world is so big! Woo! That's really exciting! So I need to check what Sand Tomb's numbers are. Oh, it's physical. Accuracy leaves a lot to be desired. And so does the power. So yeah, Sand Tomb is not amazing. But it worked there. Another wild Scraggy. Still before finding any Darumaka's on this route. Nice defense drop. Alright, we do have the Dig TM. Honestly, I think I will put that over Sand Tomb. I was about to say it feels weird that Roggenrola can't learn Dig, but what would it dig with? And we do not need uproar on this guy. Or this girl, I'm sorry. A battle is like a construction project. They're both a piece of cake for me. I'm gonna take a risk. Fingers crossed I'm faster than this timber. I may have lost in the battle, but I bow to nobody when it comes to construction. You must have something like that, right? Something you do better than anybody? I don't know about better than anybody. Ruins buried in the desert. It's like a grand adventure in a story. Alright, we're back to our Darumaka's home. I'm going to see the ruins, but I'm afraid I might get lost in the desert. It's really big, and sometimes you run into Pokémon. Will I be in trouble if I'm not strong? I hear you can find the newly discovered entrance of the ruins if you go through the gate and just head straight. So that Sandile's faster than mine, is it? Don't miss. Dang it. I think we lose our Sandile here because we can't swap it out due to the Sand Tomb, right? Yep. Oh. Alright, thanks for not missing this time. The desert resort is especially known for the Relic Castle. I'm a school kid, so I know this. Just like in caves, you can run into Pokemon almost anywhere in the desert. They don't like hiding in the pale sand, so if you walk there, you won't have to worry about battling. Alright, and this is... Outside is also Desert Resort, isn't it? It is. They're on opposite sides of this little entryway. I need to check and see. Do these count as different places? I mean, if I did indoor-outdoor for Pinwheel Forest, then I suppose it should also count here. So yeah, we're allowed to get a new Pokemon here. And there are 3 things that we could theoretically get. I'm a trainer first and a doctor second. Not that I would super care to use any of the Pokemon that we can get here, but we can get a new Pokemon here. I know I stand to lose my Sandile, but I'm going to take a risk here. I can't help but feel like it would be more effective to use a stethoscope on a Pokemon rather than a Poké Ball. Now, I will make your Pokemon healthy. And that's what I wanted. Desert Resort is a harsh place. Do you have medicines? I've got you here at the entrance. I came clear out to the Desert Resort to train, but there's so many ground-type Pokemon, I'm already in tatters. Having traveled the world, I realized we can communicate through our Pokemon. Hey there, Outlander. And yeah, the less we think about Pokeballs, the better. That is indeed true. So, thinking about Pokeballs, the Pokeballs we use in Pokemon Legends Arceus, back in Hisui, are basically the first Pokeballs ever invented, yeah? Why did they feel the need to include a little firework launcher in them? And why don't modern Pokeballs have a little firework launcher in them? This bird just got the double detect. My Quick Claw let me use first, but my opponent used Quick Attack, and therefore I did not move first. Waste of my time, Quick Claw. Having traveled around the world, I learned that travel brings change. We should not be afraid of change. Already got a Sandile. Yeah, there are 3 species that I can get here that I don't have yet. Each one is a 10% encounter rate. One of them is very bad. Another is just okay, and the third is also just okay. And yeah, basically none of them are Pokemon that I particularly need. The 2 that aren't bad at least have types that aren't represented on my team yet. Not that I would choose to use them even so. Actually, you know what? One of them I might be willing to replace one of my existing Pokemon for, just to keep things interesting. And to give me an extra type coverage. And it's pretty decent coverage to have, too. So I guess we're really hoping to hit the right 10% encounter. Being with my Pokemon makes me happy even when we're in a bad situation. Alright, this Watchog I probably don't want to leave Sandile in front of. Oh, we would have been fine. Oh boy, time to hit myself 5 times in a row. There's one. Oh, I guess I don't have to worry about hitting myself so much. I'll just be asleep instead. Well, we've got our one guaranteed sleep turn. Alright, time to swap off of Duat. Because Duat is not surviving this turn if I leave it in. So, yeah. Let's see how our little fire monkey can do. I mean, probably not amazingly well, but... Thanks, Hustle. Hey, Watchog, use... No, actually, never mind. I'm swapping off of Darumaka. Alright, we win this turn. Unless... I guess we don't win this turn. We sleep this turn. Why does this Watchog have to be so hard? Okay, sleeping and confused. Great. There's sleep turn number 3. Oh boy, we got our Quick Claw. And we woke up. And we hit ourselves really fast. You know, with this Watchog only having Crunch and Super Fang for attacking moves, Sandile actually is a pretty decent choice. All right, this turn we win for sure. Yeah, Crab, I 100% agree. I wish more future Pokemon games were only new mons during the playthrough. I get why they haven't done it since, because it requires them to create a lot more Pokemon than usual. And also, people do get upset when their favorites aren't available. But yeah, I also like being forced to use Pokemon I've never used before. That's why I will always try and use Pokemon new to a generation when I can. So yeah, I wish they would do it again. I understand why they don't. When I feel lonely at night, I curl up with my Pokemon and watch the twinkling stars. I track the shooting stars and slow down the rhythm of my life. We needed this badly. You're the first person to come clear out here to talk to me. I'm so moved, so I'll give you this. Dude literally just grabbed some sand from next to him and handed it to me as a reward. If a Pokemon holds this soft sand, the power of its ground-type moves goes up. Why does holding sand make them better at using ground-type moves? Like, they're just holding sand. How does that make them better at using ground-type moves? Do they use the sand somehow? And if so, how does that make them better? I mean, you can say the same about most of the move-type boosting items. How does wearing sunglasses make you better at using evil-type moves? Because we must remember that in Japanese, the original language for these games, the dark type is not the dark type, it is the evil type. It appears to be a statue of a Pokemon, but it is not. So I could go into the Relic Castle and get a new Pokemon in there. I know exactly what Pokemon it would be because there's only 2 Pokemon that can spawn in there. But if I wait, then I can get a better Pokemon in the Relic Castle. Admittedly, I have to wait a long time. But if I wait, I can get better. And yeah, Outlander, Gen 5, like, its Pokemon designs, I've said it before. It's got a lot of big hits for me, but it's also got a lot of big misses for me. Whether I travel or not, I want to make a great discovery. So, like, yeah, there's very few Gen 5 Pokemon that I'm just purely neutral on. It's the generation where it's most, I either really like it or I absolutely hate it. Maractus here, like, honestly, I think this one does straddle the line. It's got aspects I like and aspects I don't like. And part of what I don't like about it is its move pool. It's not a good Pokemon. In fact, it is the Pokemon I am least hoping to encounter here in this desert. Thankfully, this is a trainer battle, and therefore I don't have to get stuck catching this thing. Dang it, Hustle. Yeah, as far as whether or not you like Gen 5 Pokemon and what you think about its roster, whether you like Pokemon or not, partially depends on, like, your experiences with them, I would say. Like, the thing is, you're more likely to appreciate a Pokemon that you've gotten to know, that you've used. If it's only ever been an opponent for you, yeah, you're probably not going to like it as much as if it's been a friend. Like Veluza in Gen 9, like in Scarlet and Violet. I am not a fan of that thing because it is annoying to deal with. But if I used it on my party for a whole run, maybe I'd like it more. The world is full of mysteries. That's why I look closely. That's why I listen carefully. I think, I reflect, and I discover something new. So yeah, if we're forced to use new Pokemon in a new Pokemon game, that's naturally going to make us appreciate the new Pokemon more. The abilities of my Pokemon, I will show them to you. And there's your mask. So, my options regarding Relic Castle are either get a Yamask by going in there now, and probably not use it because, honestly, I'm not going to use Yamask. Or, I can wait a long time, probably too long, actually, and get Volcarona. I would like Volcarona. But, yeah, thinking on it, isn't Volcarona, like, post-game anyway? That's too late. Because, little secret here, I'm not going to be doing post-game content. We're going to get Thundurus and we're going to roll credits. That is what we're doing on this run. And if I go into the Relic Castle now, I can get items and XP from trainers. So it's probably worth going in now instead of waiting until we can get Volcarona. It's a shame because Volcarona is really cool and it shows up at level 70 in Relic Castle. I believe it's the highest level wild Pokemon in this game. If an ability is changed to Mummy, the Pokemon cannot use its original ability. It's subtly devious, isn't it? Imagine if Mummy still applied after the battle ended. Suddenly, every Pokemon in the world has Mummy for an ability. Scorching desert, a passion for adventure, and a heated battle. I'm gonna be real here. I like Ducklet more than Swanna. Yeah, Crab, I don't think you can get Volcarona before Alder. I'm gonna take a risk. Swapping from a water-weak Pokemon to a water-weak Pokemon in front of a water type, because water-weak Pokemon number 2 knows a rock move, which is good against this water-flying type. Well, good news, it didn't attack last turn, which means this cannot KO, and it wouldn't have KO'd anyway. Of course, if I leave my rock in now, it is just begging to get KO'd. So let's swap to Duat. Ooh! Ooh! Shiny Ho-Oh! We finally found it! And Duat was perhaps not a great choice. We have nothing that is effective against this duck. Alright, so with this shiny Ho-Oh, we must Sleep Powder. Alright, Sleep Powder worked on the first try. Always love to see that. And now we Skill Swap. Admittedly, taking its pressure is perhaps not the best of plans. Because that makes it be pressured. But now we give it a kind gift. Oh. I don't have the gifts to give. Or, no, it's probably holding Sacred Ash, isn't it? So actually, let's give it pressure back. Alright, let's Sleep Powder this thing again. The fact that I can't give this thing infinite PP by bestowing a Lepa Berry upon it while it has Harvest means that we are on a bit of a clock for this Ho-Oh. So we just gotta hope that I don't get super unlucky. Let's go ahead and full restore here because we kind of need it. Speed is crucial to treat a burn. Okay, Ho-Oh's still asleep. Let's go ahead and use a Roto Catch. And put it back to sleep. Oh, wait. Whether it is hot or cold, there is no problem if you have passion. That's not true. You need more than just passion to survive hypothermia. And now to start hucking luxury balls. Oh, that moment! That's when we use Pokemon. What? And time to make Bird sleep again. Well, Bird is no longer fire type. Okay, you know what? I don't need to keep this Exeggutor out here. I've got a Smeargle who is better at putting things to sleep. And who isn't weak to fire moves. And what we need is for this Bird to sleep for as much as for as many turns as possible, because that is how we can keep it alive longer, so that I can use more Lux Balls. And since we are burned and at about half health, let's go ahead and full restore the Smeargle. The past 2 shinies I've found in Ultra Space, being a Suicune and a Regirock. Oh, Assurance is sealed. I can't use it. Both of them caught on the first ball. I was really hoping this Ho-Oh would be similar. But alas. Still, we have plenty of balls to huck. There is a very good chance that we'll catch this Ho-Oh before it starts to struggle. 3 shakes. And you know what? I would definitely like to learn Swagger. But I guess Sand Attack would be what we replace. Though 1 Swagger does have a higher chance of preventing action than 1 Sand Attack. But Sand Attack is usable against physical attackers and not just special attackers, without putting myself at greater risk. Oh, wait, the Ho-Oh's awake. Go back to bed. You know what? Yeah, let's replace Sand Attack. Oh, that moment. That's when you notice how great Pokemon are. What moment? Hello, Rare Candy. And we're stuck with the Maractus. So, the Pokemon I was hoping we would find, of the 3 10%ers, was Sigilif. I was hoping for Sigilif. I would have replaced my bird with it, because, hey, it's an interesting flying type. It gives us the Psychic type, which is good coverage to have. But no. We get a Cactus. This bird is not very sleepy. I need it to spend more turns sleeping so that we have a higher chance of catching it. Stop sleeping for only 1 turn, bird! Okay, getting caught is a good way to stop sleeping for only one turn. Hooray, I now have a shiny Ho-Oh with my OT for the first time in my life. And with that, actually, if I look at the Pokemon that I have left to get, yeah, I am now done getting Pokemon with my OT in Ultra Space. I have all the shinies that you can get from Ultra Space with my OT. Not all of them are from Ultra Space. Some of them are from older games. Some are from newer games. But I have them all. So, what we're going to do is we are going to not nickname this Ho-Oh. We are going to save immediately. Then we are going to accidentally try and use the D-pad because we've been using the D-pad for the Pokemon game over there to the left. And Crab, I already have another Pokemon lined up for who's next, so we just need to change which game is in the cartridge slot here in order to go get it. But that'll wait a bit because we have to, as usual, look at our new catch in the box just to see it there. And I guess see what nature it is. That's an interesting little bit. And hey, we've got this lovely little triumphant music for after we've caught the Ho-Oh. It's only fitting. Would you look at that? It's a Ho-Oh, and it's sassy. So the next Pokemon I'll be going for in this game can be guessed by the fact that I've got both of these in this game right now. But this game will not be used to get said Pokemon today because I'm not gonna stop playing Pokemon White for long enough to actually find the right wormhole. So next time we see this Pokemon Ultra Sun, I'll be going after a shiny Rayquaza because, I mean, hey, shiny Rayquaza is neat. You can never have too many of them. Alright, so game is saved. And now game is closing. And then we are removing game from system and placing other game in system. And then launching other game, where we will already be parked in front of a Pokemon, ready to shiny hunt it. Maractus, the cactus Pokemon. Arid regions are their habitat. They move rhythmically, making a sound similar to maracas. And yep, we're going for shiny Mewtwo. And if we get shiny Mewtwo this stream, then we will then move on to trying for shiny Celebi. Countless feelings infuse these ruins. It's fun to imagine them. And how are you feeling? Yeah, Crab, Rayquaza absolutely does. Like, shiny Rayquaza, 100% belongs in luxury balls. That said, the one that the Violet Raid gave us is not the only shiny Rayquaza I have, and I'm going to get another before I am done. That is for sure. So Dwebble is the other 10% Pokemon we could have found here beyond Maractus and Sigilif, and I would have preferred a Dwebble over a Maractus, that's for sure. I probably wouldn't have put it on my team, considering we've already got a pretty good rock type. But I would have liked Dwebble more than Maractus, that's for sure. I mean, look at it. Dwebble's adorable. Nice try with the crit, Duat, but unfortunately this is in fact a Dwebble with Sturdy. People and Pokemon each have different feelings, and probably both are correct. I will show you the harshness of the desert through a battle. I've thought of another thing that I actually am not the biggest fan of in Pokemon Black and White. And that thing is the fact that so many Pokemon introduced in Gen 5 evolve so late. Like, sure, they give us access to strong moves relatively fast. But evolution comes so late relative to other games. It's kind of a pain. Like, I would have expected Sandile to evolve by level 25, if we're being honest. But nope. Don't get me started on freaking Bisharp, Braviary, Volcarona, Hydreigon, the latest evolving Pokemon in the franchise. Be careful of burns. If a Pokemon gets a burn, it also weakens physical attacks. This works quite well. What works quite well? Weakening physical attacks or a Rostberry against burns? Rock Tomb's a decent TM to find. Not amazing, but decent. Be better if it had better accuracy. But rock moves aren't allowed to be accurate. Pretty sure we have found everything we can find here other... Or no, we still haven't found a wild Dwebble. Or Sigilyph. I was going to say other than Sigilyph, but... can't say that. Until we also find a wild Dwebble. You gotta love when you make it one step. And yeah, Crab, the shiny Koraidon and Miraidon event was really bungled. I'm glad I managed to get mine. And I had a friend in Japan who was able to get me codes for a pair of Japanese ones as well. So I got both of them in both English and Japanese. So hooray for that. But yeah, it was definitely not the best implementation of an event. And the thing is, if they had held it on any day other than the launch day for a new Pokemon TCG set, chances are it wouldn't have been nearly as terrible. It still would have been bad. But we wouldn't have had people who are there specifically trying to get things that they can resell at higher prices, also competing for the promo codes. Like, that was the biggest flaw of the whole thing. Like, oh yeah, let's do it on the same day that we release a new set of Pokemon cards. And we found a Yamask instantly. And I care so much about getting this Yamask on my team that I am going to click Assurance, and if it survives, I'll throw Poké Balls. Aw, dang, I guess I don't get a Yamask. Honestly, probably not the wisest choice. Yamask and Kofagrigus are actually pretty good. But I don't care. And besides, only with Kofagrigus can you get a Pokemon with a slur in its name on your team. Not that that's really a selling point. I'm just amazed that they put a slur inside a Pokemon's name. And, like, they know it's a slur. If you try and name a Pokemon Kofagrigus in any game that has any kind of policing of nicknames, it will not let you name a Pokemon Kofagrigus. Because it's got a slur in its name. Yeah, there's a reason that when I'm pronouncing Kofagrigus, I make sure to have a syllable break between the Kofa and the Grigus. There are two things I've learned about quicksand. If you try to walk through the middle, you'll fall. And if you try to run through it, you'll fall. My psychic-type Pokemon just started making noises. Is that because we're in the ruins? Or is it because of you? Crab, I don't remember the Zacian and Zamazenta events. I had to rely on someone else to get my codes. I believe I lived in Japan at the time. So I don't recall what kind of card they were on, but I do know I had to scratch something off for my... Right, I think I remember scratching something off for the Koraidon and Miraidon. So, yeah. Really the best way to handle the legendary events, though, is let the store print new codes on a receipt. They did that in France for the Zacian and or not Zacian and Zamazenta. Well, maybe them too, but for the Koraidon and Miraidon, they let France stores print new codes on receipts, which goes a long way to making sure you don't run out of a limited stock of physical cards. It is said that long ago, these ruins were the heart of civilization for people and Pokemon in the Unova region. And maybe we'll eventually get Pokemon Legends Unova to show us that. And it'll be set way too recently in the past. And it'll throw timelines out of whack again. Just like the fact that apparently Poké Balls were invented after the camera, if Pokemon Legends Arceus is to be believed. And I don't mean like the original camera with the flash pans and all that. I mean like modern handheld type cameras. Leventon's got just a regular point and shoot camera. It feels so wrong. There's so much anachronism in Legends Arceus, and it bothers me. Just being here fills me with magical power. Muna has traditionally not been able to actually harm us with anything other than a psychic type move. Something tells me that Imprison has not sealed any of my moves whatsoever. In ancient places, magical energy remains. I can understand it. So much sorrow and joy. Time to pour some water on our crocodile. Which really it shouldn't like, but I guess the times they are a-changin' or whatever. I've been carrying 2 Pokemon fossils, but they're just so heavy. Would you take one of them off my hands? Alright, so here. There is no good choice. Let's be real. If we were doing a Nuzlocke, the cover fossil would actually be incredible. Because it's got an ability, I believe. If memory serves, Tortuga's ability prevents critical hits, which is super useful for a Nuzlocke, because it means that you can be much more sure about your calculations. But it's a rock-water type. I already have a rock type and a water type, and the water type for sure is never leaving my party. And also Caracosta just isn't that great. But then you go over here to the Plume fossil. And oh boy, the Pokemon that it makes is pretty solid. Until it takes a hit. And then it's worthless. But I'm still going with Archon. I like Archon. I actually like Tortuga more. And admittedly, Archeops, I think, looks terrible in most games. But it is the fossil of a bird Pokemon that lived in an ancient forest. But they say it couldn't fly. Oh, Tortuga's ability reduces damage from super effective hits. Okay, that's not as Nuzlocke useful as I thought. Still good. Trainer, you still can't move ahead because there's so much sand. I will do my best to remove the sand. Give me a second. 1. I like how they let you struggle, but it doesn't accomplish anything. See, if this was the first Yamask I encountered, we would have actually put it on the party. This Yamask really doesn't like stat changes. Using Haze twice in a row. Another Yamask that would have joined the team if it was the first one I found. Yes, Outlander, I am still operating off of pseudo-Nuzlocke rules for team building because it just keeps things interesting. If I don't get to choose what goes on my team, I at least have to make some more interesting choices rather than just go for certain specific Pokemon. Like, I don't get to use necessarily the Pokemon that I've used for basically every run of Black and White. Pretty sure I'd have a Blitzel by now if I was not doing the pseudo-Nuzlocke rules. And I would certainly have something other than a Tranquil. When I look at the freeway, I feel exhilarated. A traveling backpacker meets a traveling trainer. I would love to have a Krokorok by the time we battle Alessa. But something tells me it's going to be like a level 28 or 30 Evo. Which, I mean, 28 we can get. 30 might be a bit rougher. I do have no memory whatsoever of what level Sandile evolves. My journey taught me that a journey is not just going somewhere. Meeting people and learning from them are both part of my journey. Dude said journey 3 times in 2 sentences. If you've come from Route 4, Nimbasa City is ahead. Next, if you've come from Nimbasa City, Route 4 is ahead. You just watched me come in from Route 4. You just watched me do it. Hello, Redmond. Come here. Alessa called and was asking me all about electric-type Pokemon, and I thought about you guys. That's why I wanted to see you. Ta-da! Freebies for you! Here, Charon. You too, Redmond. Cool. I'm not going to use them. If you see a Pokemon that you want to have join you, be sure to use a good type of Poké Ball. Okay, I will. Specifically the one called Poké Ball. That's a good type of Poké Ball. Because this could be the first and last time you see that Pokemon. In most cases, it's not going to be the last. I know it might seem strange for me to say this, since I'm the one who asked you to complete the Pokédex, but please, remember to enjoy your journey. Of course, I'm not saying you can just neglect the Pokédex, but you know that. Do I? I'm pretty sure I'm neglecting the heck out of it. Now, if you'll please excuse me, I have to go meet Bianca. It seems the professor gave us the Pokédex as a reason to send us on a journey. At least that's what my mom told me. They wanted us to go out and see the world, so my mom, Bianca's mom, and your mom made a request to Professor Juniper. Redmond, what should we do now? I think I'd like to show the professor my thanks by going to Route 4 and catching some Pokemon I haven't yet caught. You do that, bud. I'm not gonna. Look at the electric bulletin board to see what's happening in Nimbasa City. Someone who loved battles happened to be a railway maniac, and that's why we have the battle subway. Okay. Sometimes scouts spot potentially popular Pokemon at the musical theater. Run and battle. Trains never stop. Battle subway in Nimbasa City. Gramps, we know you run the daycare. How do we know? Because we're Team Plasma. We are taking Pokemon away from people. Since you work at the daycare, we figure you must have a lot of Pokemon. Hand them over. What kind of nonsense is this? Oh, a strong-looking trainer. Please help me. If you're going to get in our way, we'll take your Pokemon too. Hopefully this Watchog doesn't end up being as much of a problem as the last one. It is 5 levels lower, so... yeah, thus far, every Watchog I've fought in this run has been a problem for me. I need that to stop. And would you look at that, I used Dig on the turn it used Detect. If it was the other way around, if it used Detect on the turn that the Dig was supposed to happen, this would have gone much worse. Yeah, Outlander, that might be an illegal Watchog if it was evolved from a patch rat, but who knows? Maybe this Team Plasma Grunt found it in an SOS battle. We live in a world where you can get a Salamence at what, level 8? This went downhill fast, so I think we'd better run! Let's hide out at the amusement park. Thank you so much. Please take this as a token of my gratitude. It's a brand new bike. I'd always planned on riding around Nimbasa City, but I never ended up riding it. I have a daycare on Route 3. If you have any Pokémon you want me to raise, please drop them off. I just came to sightsee, but I got in a lot of trouble. Hey, Redmond! Yoo-hoo! The professor told me Nimbasa City has a lot of things to see and do. The amusement park, big stadium, small court, and the battle subway. I'm going to go see the Pokemon musical. See you later! And now for something very important. Now that the bicycle is registered, I no longer have to hold B to go fast, which means I can go fast while doing things on the right system. Infielders are practicing in big stadium now. People can watch them practicing. Yeah, I'm an infielder. I hurt my hand, so I can't write an autograph. Sorry. Say, how did you sign your trainer card? The answer is I didn't. When I throw a Poké Ball, I copy the form of a pitcher. Setting up a mechanic that will be in future Pokemon games. So, they say the infielders are practicing, which means surely we shouldn't find anyone in the outfield. If you don't swing a bat, you can't hit a ball. If you don't do things, you won't fail, but you won't succeed either. What I brag about is my bat. Okay. I give 100% of my energy all the time. That is the only thing I can do. Why are you so far from your base? It's not bad to grow up, but it's bad to forget what it felt like to be a child. And where's the shortstop? I have baseball and I have Pokemon. How happy I am. Where's the first baseman? Are you the first baseman? I'm a little bit strong. I will work out. So is this guy just going to have all 3 elemental monkeys? Because he's got 1 and he's got 3 Pokemon. It would not surprise me one bit if he just had all 3 elemental monkeys. Nice, we avoided a yawn. Which means we probably aren't going to have to go find the serum. Ooh, crunch! We love a crunch in this house, especially when we're replacing Assurance. Gaining PP and also gaining a lot of power. except in double battles. And yep, that's confirmed. He's going to have all 3 monkeys. Of course it managed to get a burn. Okay, let's go ahead and swap Petalil back out. Oh hey, Sandile is apparently my ace right now. You know what? That's fine. I like Sandile. It's adorable. So fun fact, I'm not the biggest fan of Crocodile. Sandile and Krokorok are great. Crocodile, its proportions just get off in a way that I do not appreciate. Like, it goes from Crocodile to Gharial. I think that's my biggest problem with it. Snout too thin. Nice crit. You're quite strong. You've left the Little League. Yeah, decades ago. I can tell you the exact reason I stopped playing Little League Baseball. When I was a kid and my parents made me participate in various sports because that's what you do for kids. Make sure they play outside, etc. But, yeah, Little League Baseball. You know, you go from T-ball to then there's the, like, pitching machine. And you have to hit balls that it spits out. You know, the first year with the pitching machine, it was fine. But the second year with the pitching machine, they just decided, the people running the Little League that I was a part of, decided that, oh, if you hit the ball, but it doesn't clear the infield, if you don't hit the ball into the outfield, you're out. What? Oh, so I'm standing here at home base, just a little kid. I hit the ball, it lands, like, here. And either the shortstop or the second baseman has to pick it up and throw it to first base. And first base has to catch it and either touch the plate or touch me with the ball in order to get me out before I can get to first base. But... like, that's actual baseball rules, but they just decide, oh no, we're gonna skip the whole having the infielders do anything part. If you do not hit your ball past the infield, you're out. Which I guess is just to make it so that the infielders don't have more to do than the outfielders. Which, sure, I guess that makes the outfielders just as bored as the infielders for most of the time, but like, come on. I hated that ruling so much, I just completely quit the sport. To be good at something, you have to do it repeatedly, day after day after day. That's how you get results, otherwise you won't get better at it. When I was a kid, I played catch with my Pokemon. Really, only one of these baseball players wants to actually have a Pokemon battle. I would have expected more. I'm raising the same Pokemon as my favorite athlete's Pokemon. I'm raising the Pokemon that showed up. We athletes in our Pokemon show excellent teamwork. You can see it at big stadium and small court, so please stop by. On the subject of football, when I was in high school, and also still now, I got big. I'm 6'4". My PE teachers always told me, hey, you should join the football team and be a lineman. Problem there. I don't like pain. I'm not the most athletic guy in the world. Like, I do hit the gym a few times a week, but when it comes to, like, actually doing a sport these days, I haven't been athletic since I stopped playing Little League Baseball and junior soccer, whatever the heck they called it. Kids soccer. So, like, yeah, no, it was never going to work out. Especially as a lineman where your job is to keep big people from getting to your quarterback using your body. Yeah, no. No, that sounds painful. I don't want it. Don't want any part of that. We love sports. Watching games is great, but we enjoy watching practices too. New styles of basketball and tennis created by people in Pokemon. These may be advanced forms of sports. Basketball players are practicing in small court now. People can watch them practicing. If you speak to athletes during a practice, they may challenge you to a Pokemon battle, because they'd rather do that than practice their sport. First-rank hoopsters are waiting for you in the court with their Pokemon. I'm still a rookie, but someday I'll be a great player. I'll improve by having a lot of Pokemon battles. I thought that it was first-rate hoopsters who were practicing here. But you say you're still a rookie? Show me a protect. Except you won't, because I already went. Maybe it's forgotten protect by now. Also, I'm gonna go ahead and swap off of Sandile now. Admittedly, I don't have an amazing answer. I guess Tranquil's my best answer now that this thing's used Iron Defense. Let's go Tranquil. I was thinking Darumaka, because, hey, Fire-type moves are often special. But my Darumaka only knows Fire Fang, which is not special at all. Thankfully, Air Cutter gets through that Iron Defense. Oh, now you use Protect. Fascinating. Really would have thought you'd do that on the turn that I was hitting you with Dig. I won't make excuses for losing. Why waste time dreaming up excuses? I'll spend that time getting stronger. Good attitude, guy. A fight against your opponent can end in the blink of an eye. The important thing is how much you prepare before the fight. I don't play basketball just because I'm tall. Maybe I grew tall because I wanted to play basketball so badly. I don't think your desires influence how tall you grow. Otherwise, I know a lot of short people who would be much taller. I've got a friend who, he's always been on the shorter side. For most of our high school careers, he was 5'4", a full foot shorter than me. But by the time he graduated, he finally, just barely, hit that 5'5" mark, and he was so happy. I need to check the shops. I've got money to burn. Ooh, finally a TM shop. Okay, frustration we don't want. Return, however, is good. Thunderwave, also probably worth having. I don't know that we have anyone who will be super good at using Gyro Ball. Maybe Roggenroll can learn it. And then the rest of these, Light Screen and Reflect are good moves. I'm not going to use them during a playthrough. Best to buy Poké Balls in stacks of exactly 10 because they didn't start giving you a Premier Ball for every 10 you bought until later. Yeah, Outlander, I can say with certainty that I am 6'4", because, you know, you go to a place like Six Flags Magic Mountain, and their roller coasters have height limits. Specifically one of them, it does have a height limit, not a minimum height, a height limit. You have to be no taller than this in order to ride. And that height limit was 1 inch taller than I am. And I have a feeling that they have to be very strict about that. Because if you're over that limit, then it is unsafe for someone to ride. I was actually so close to the limit that they had to have one of the people who are... one of the people working there who oversees the ride, they had to have them ride with me, I guess, so that they could immediately say or shout if something went wrong or something. I don't know. It felt odd the whole time. But anyway, like, it was very, it was... there's a picture that we have of me in front of the "you must be under this line to ride" thing. And yeah, I'm just under it. And that line was set at 6'5". So yeah, we know how tall I am. And fun fact, that ride, it was one of them dangly feet coasters. And I was thinking, oh, maybe if you're too big, you can't fit properly in the harness or something like that. During the ride, it became clear that no, it's if you're too tall, your feet will dangle too low and they might contact something and freaking break your ankles during the ride. And yeah, 2 times during that ride, my feet went over something that was way too close for comfort. And the entire rest of the day, because that was the first ride we went on that day, the entire rest of the day when I was on a dangly foot coaster, I was hyper aware of where my feet were and what was below them. It ruined the whole day for me.
Ooh, Redmond,
Are you interested in musicals? Then let's go in together. I'm not interested in musicals. Please don't force me to do a musical. Amazing, isn't it? Hello, you two. How do you do? I'm the owner of this theater. Pleasure to meet you. Ooh, I must say that you two seem like phenomenal trainers. What do we do here? We use props to make your Pokemon fashionable and glamorous. Do you want to join in and play dress-up? To get you started, here's a prop case. I don't want to join in and play dress-up. Please let me leave. This prop case lets you store props for decorating your Pokemon. First off, you need to pick a Pokemon. Please let me leave. Now, don't be like that. Please reconsider and select a Pokemon. I'm not allowed to leave. I'm not allowed to leave. Let's go with our rock, though. Our rock deserves to have some fun after being the last survivor of our Nuzlocke run. You can pull out props from the list and put them on your Pokemon. Okay, but there we go. Gotta put glasses on this guy's single eye. And, you know, he doesn't have arms, so he's not allowed to hold a parasol. Here, I was going to try and protect him from water. I can't give him a belt either. Surely I can give him a top hat. And apparently he's got an ear for a bow. Would have liked it if I could give him a bow tie. Oh, we can give him a regular tie. Come on, come on. No, he doesn't have anywhere to put a tie. We can put a bow tie on his ears, apparently. But it says it looks nice on the body. You know what? I think we're just gonna have to leave him with what he's got now. No, I didn't mean to put the glasses away. Put those back. Wow, the two of you did a fantastic job coordinating everything. By the way, Outlander, I'm fond of musicals, like real-life musicals. Sometimes. Some are much better than others. Like, my favorite musicals are the ones where they basically take the Disney film philosophy where the important bits are sung, but then they're just regular acting for the rest of the thing. If it's a musical where it's singing the whole time, it's like, wow, you live in a weird, weird world where everything's a song. And it takes me out of it. I can appreciate when the songs are written well and all that, but I like having a lot of acting with musical numbers where it counts, where it matters. One of my acting courses that I took in college, we had to go see a play out in the real world at one point, and I ended up seeing a production of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde that was a musical. I didn't realize it was a musical before going in, and it was one of those musicals where basically everything was singing. And oh yeah, the actor portraying Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde was apparently best known for an appearance on American Idol. Like, he did really well on American Idol or something. So he was known for that. So I guess, yeah, they got someone who was good at singing to play in a musical that was mostly singing. The problem is, he wasn't that good at acting. And when he got to the, real emotional parts of the songs, he always basically mimed holding a mic as he was singing. And it's like, my guy,
your character is not wanting for a mic right now. You're breaking character to do the thing that you personally do when you're singing these parts, and it's like, come on, my guy. Anyway, that actor took me out of the play, as did the fact that the musical itself was mostly singing with very little regular acting, and I wasn't a fan. Utterly charming. No, it wasn't. If you have a Pokemon who can play dress-up, you can participate in the Pokemon musical. Please don't force me to. Would you two please join us? The receptionist can explain everything. Let us say a brief farewell. I eagerly anticipate seeing you on stage. Please don't force me.
Oh, I don't know what to do. Doing the musical would be totally cool, but there's other stuff I want to do. Okay, that's it. I made up my mind. I'm going to see the sights in Nimbasa.
So am I.
See you, Redmond.
Let me follow you. Don't leave me here.
Daddy? What are you doing here?
I've come to take you back home, of course. Your mother told me that you'd made it all the way out here. Haven't you gone far enough?
No way! I'm going to keep traveling with Redmond and my Pokemon.
Absolutely not. Others do things their way, and we do things ours.
Is that so? Then how about you do things your way and I'll do things mine? Sweetie, you keep going on your travels.
Hey, who do you think you are? This is a family matter.
My name is Alessa. I'm this town's gym leader. I also happen to be a model.
I don't see how that's relevant. Also, here's another bit of the sprite work in these games that has always bugged me. Alessa doesn't look like she's the same species as the other human sprites. Like, sure, yeah, she's way taller, that's fine. She's also way slimmer, and just completely different proportions. She doesn't look like she's the same species as all the other humans. It's weird.
You know, there are many people in this world. There are people whose way of thinking may be completely different from yours. Sometimes this means you may get hurt.
Of course! That's exactly right! It's because I'm worried about that.
But it's important to keep trying, to learn about the differences between yourself and others. To learn that being different is okay.
And boy would she know, being from a different species than all of the other trainer sprites. And yeah, Outlander, it is rather interesting how widespread this sad song is, even outside of the Pokemon community. I mean, it's the thing. Gen 5 had good music. A lot of Gen 5 music hits different.
And you shouldn't worry. Trainers always have Pokemon at their side.
Unless those Pokemon faint and or die.
Pokemon are wonderful. It's not only how cute they can be, but also how much you can depend on them. Please. I know there's going to be painful stuff like you're worrying about. I know, really, I get it. But like, listen, there'll be tons of nice people too. Know what else? Since I'm traveling with Pokemon, I've already gotten tougher. I can totally tell. So, please?
I guess. If wanting to continue your journey is selfishness on your part, wanting to stop you is selfishness on mine. I'm surprised to find I'm the one being childish, at my age. This gym leader's comments helped me wake up. Bianca, I'm sure it's better that you take the path you want to take now. I hope that your journey will be fun. Bon voyage! Redmond, please, take care of my little girl, okay? I'll have you know she beat me in our first Pokemon battle. It was entirely up to RNG, but she still won, technically.
Papa, I'll come home after I find out what I really want to do. I'm sure he traveled as a trainer himself in the past. Being a parent must be hard.
And yeah, Crab, the coat on her Black 2 White 2 sprite definitely hides the utterly dissimilar proportions between her and every single other human in the game.
Did I meddle unnecessarily? You looked troubled, so I decided to chime in. By the way, if you're trainers, please stop by the Pokemon gym. I'll teach you a little something about how tough a journey can get. She's so cool! Ha! I want to be a totally cool woman like Alessa. I wonder how I'll get there. Well, before that, I guess I need to discover what I really want to do. See you later, Redmond!
Yeah, just compare her to any other trainer sprite. Or like any other field sprite for a human person. And she just looks like a completely different species. There are so few similarities between her and any other human's field sprite. It feels like she was designed for the wrong game. Like, most of the trainer sprites are kind of pear-shaped, which is fine. But then you take someone like Alessa, who's just rail thin the whole way down, and it's like, oh, you're different. I mean, these football guys are wider than everyone else, but most of that is still just padding. Like, you look at his legs, those are just regular person legs. Alessa doesn't have just regular person legs. Oh boy, time to talk fast again.
You're looking for Team Plasma, right? They ran into the amusement park. Come with me.
When someone who has only ever been an adversary to you tells you to join them on the Ferris wheel, pro tip, don't.
They're not here. Let's ride the Ferris wheel and see if we can spot them.
This amusement park isn't that big. I don't think we need the vantage point.
I love Ferris wheels. The circular motion, the mechanics. They're like collections of elegant formulas. First, I must tell you, I'm the king of Team Plasma. Getsus asked me to work with him to save the Pokemon. I wonder how many Pokemon exist in this world.
Over 1,000, that's for sure. And that's just species.
My Lord N! You're safe, sire! There's no problem. You're part of the people we brought in to help us save the Pokemon, so you're under my protection as well. Go, quickly, and let my battle cover your retreat. Now then, Redmond, do you follow my logic?
Nope.
So that's how it is. That's unfortunate. Then, the future I envision. Perhaps I can't beat you here and now, but I'll battle you anyway to buy time for these members of Team Plasma to flee.
You know, it might have been more effective if you had somehow communicated to them that they needed to flee before we got on the Ferris wheel. That probably would have bought them more time than you battling me here and now. Oh, so where does N, or rather Natural Harmonia Gropius, get his royal claim. Back in ye olden days, to be royalty, really all you needed to do was control a territory and perhaps have a castle. You declare yourself king, you are in fact the king of that area that you control. Royalty these days is more about control of a country. It's still from the same basic principles, but these are the kings who have... Your Pokemon look happy. The kings who basically won through that system and subjugated all the other kings. Ow. Significantly ow. Yeah, that's going to be no more Sandile. But for N to be a king, that's got implications. I mean, I guess technically we know the answer to some of this. We do know the land that Team Plasma controls and all that by the end of the game. But still, if there hasn't been a continuance of rule over that land for the entire duration, I believe your claim to the throne is forfeit. Like, if, say, it's been a couple centuries and the region that you're trying to claim as your own is under, we assume, democratic control, democratic rule, then, yeah, I kind of think your claim to being royalty is forfeit. And saying you're the king of a gang is just kind of silly. Even if I lose, is it different from the future I saw? Yeah, probably. Especially when you're going to lose repeatedly. Let's use Rock. Would have swapped back to Sandile if I still had the option, but I don't. Nice Quick Claw. Well, so much for my Rock. Wow, look at N. Doesn't even care enough about his Pokemon to use a potion when they're at no health. And yet, I'm going to do the same. Because it is rude to use healing items when your opponent hasn't. Okay, my bird's got the best chance of getting rid of this Sigilith. Because Quick Attack is real. And I'm betting this guy's gonna throw out a Maractus next. Or did he already throw one out? And that's why I threw out my Darmaka earlier. I don't remember what he's used. So Fire Punch, 100 accuracy, 75 power. Doesn't have the flinch chance. Still has the burn chance. We're probably not really going to end up using Facade now, are we? So I'll probably just get rid of that. Having Fire Fang for a flinch chance in addition to headbutt. Also just for more stab is probably to our benefit. Admittedly, if we do get paralyzed or poisoned, Facade would be better to have than headbutt, but... Actually, we're about to battle the electric gym. Let's get rid of headbutt. Honestly, probably would have been better to just get rid of Fire Fang, but whatever.
Right, that was his last Pokemon. The result was the same, but you, who are you?
I'm Redmond.
You're quite strong, but I have a future that I must change, and for that future, I'll defeat the champion and become unbeatable, unlike any other.
I don't like that he had to step close enough to us that we see him like this. It's... Can you back up, sir?
I'll make all trainers feed their Pokemon. Just try and stop me.
I mean, I just stopped you once.
If you want to be together with Pokemon, your only hope is to collect the badges from each area and head for the Pokemon League. Try and stop me there if you dare.
But why not stopping you here?
If your conviction is not strong enough, you will never be able to defeat me.
Except I defeated you here, and also the last time we battled. I've defeated you twice, sir! And surely he didn't heal my Pokemon for me. Yep. So, let's go fix that. And here's why I remember I have a bike. Here's why I remember how difficult it is to get into a single tile door when you're on a bike. I really wish you could make it so that getting on the bike didn't change the music. Like, yeah, you can change which area you're in and thus have the music go back. But I'd rather have getting on the bike just not change the music as an option. How about it? I can see you're surprised. Would you ever have guessed that this gym is a roller coaster? Okay, let me fill you in, and take this too. In this roller coaster gym, the first step is to get in the car. Next comes the platform. There you can change where the coaster is going. Sometimes you continue by riding the cars of opponents you defeat. That's how you aim for the gym leader. By the way, electric-type Pokemon don't do well against ground-type moves. Whoosh, whoosh, and whoosh. Hooray, we have ridden a coaster just for fun. Oh, I forgot to... We have to actually get out manually. You know, roller coasters aren't all that fun when they only go on flat ground. Like, you need elevation changes to bring the excitement.
Your fashion sense. It's kind of New Vematown-ish.
Didn't realize New Vematown had a signature style. Ah, Emolga. Pretty sure they made it specifically so that ground types, which you can get right before this gym, don't just run roughshod over the entire gym. Well, Double Team isn't going to help my chances. Excuse me.
And of course it got the para. And of course we were fully paralyzed. And of course, as soon as we are able to attack again, we're going to miss. Because double team. Our chances of actually hitting this stupid squirrel are remarkably low right now. It's terrible. And of course, there's another one waiting in back. At least we're getting good quick claw luck. And that's probably the end of my rock. Roggenrola doesn't have what you might call special defense. Though, since that Emolga has been smacked down... Actually, I forget. Does smackdown last for more than one turn? I hope so. If not, then I just wasted a turn digging. I did not waste a turn digging. Nice. Yeah, Crab, I like Emolga aesthetically, though the act of battling it is annoying. Even though it's got basically nothing it can actually do in actual real competitive battling, it's like the worst. Well, not the worst. It's one of the worst Pikachu clones. Competitively. Hey, we get a Crocorock. Not crocodile yet. We get a Crocorock. I'm just now remembering using a crocodile in my original playthrough of Pokémon White. And I remember the nickname that I gave it, and why I gave it that nickname. Elisa controls an elegant gym in elegant Nimbasa City. She has an essential elegance. You should be her fan too. I'm gonna go to the Pokemon Center. We've got a rock to bring back to life. And a croc to get deparalyzed. But yeah, the crocodile that I used in my original Pokemon White playthrough, I named after a character from Gurren Lagann. Because crocodile looks like it's got those, you know, pointy shades. Though I specifically named it, I believe it was Balanbo. Because it just reminded me of him. Probably the colors. Because doesn't Balanbo, like, wear red glasses and crocodile's red or whatever? Something to that effect. But that was what I named it after. Welcome, challenger. I will do you the greatest of honors and accept your challenge. It's a shame I can't teach Smackdown to my Crocorock. But you don't need Smackdown when you're up against a Blitzel.
Yeah, Outlander, not only can Crocodile do the impossible, it can also see the invisible. And if you're lucky, it might fight the power. Yeah, Crab, I love me a good roller coaster. But like I said, the roller coasters in this gym need elevation changes. Like, yeah, sure, you can make a roller coaster go fast without elevation changes, and there are some good coasters that do just that. What was it called? Was it like Dododonpa or something like that? There's a coaster in Fuji-Q Highland in Japan that its whole thing is it goes around a track that basically goes around most of the theme park. And it's got one loop in it, but other than that, it's just completely flat. But the coaster's claim to fame is it accelerates really, really quickly and goes really, really fast. Like, you go from 0 to 100 plus miles per hour in a span of just a couple seconds. Are you cool riding a roller coaster? When you ride a roller coaster, the speed can make you dizzy. I'm going to make your head spin with a Pokemon battle that's just as intense. But the thing is, most roller coasters rely on slopes to get their speed and give you the G-forces that make it fun. So, like, you need to really launch that thing if it's going to be fun while going flat most of the time. My personal favorite coaster is actually also Fuji-Q Highland. I really liked Takabisha. Which, fun fact, basically every coaster at Fuji-Q Highland, at the time it was built, got a world record for something. Dododonpa, I believe it was Dododonpa, I might be misremembering the name, was the fastest accelerating coaster in the world when it was built. I forget what the one that gives you a really good look at Mount Fuji was, but that one, I believe, was the tallest coaster at the time it was built. It has since been defeated many times over. Takabisha had the steepest drop in that it was a 120-degree drop from level with the ground. So, 90 degrees would be going vertically straight down. 120 degrees, it actually goes upside down during the drop because of that. And it's a real fun coaster. I liked that one a lot. Especially because right at the beginning, they've got a little surprise for you. When the coaster first starts, it doesn't go up the big incline first. It starts off by going through a dark indoor area. And they surprise you with an inversion during the dark part. Before you're expecting any inversions whatsoever. It's fun. I liked it a lot. And Fuji-Q Highland also has Eijinaika, which at the time it was built had the most inversions of any coaster. Also makes it fun. I like it. I like coasters that go upside down. Your way of battling, it's elegant. You've got style, even compared to Miss Alessa. Though actually, it was announced a few years back, and it's probably been completed by now, that the company that made Takabisha for... Oh, hey, look, we actually do get elevation. The company that made Takabisha also was going to basically just make a copy of it for, I believe, some theme park in New Jersey. And it was an almost identical copy, except it was planned to have a 1 degree steeper drop in the beginning. So it was going to be 121 degrees just to take that record. Feels petty, but whatever.
Your Nimbasa Gym Challenge is finally nearing its finale. But if you don't beat me, you won't get to meet Miss Alessa. I'm also a Pokemon trainer who was toughened up by Miss Alessa. I'll show you power and style befitting this gym.
Oh no, Outlander, a single occupancy rail system would be something much more useful than what Tesla was planning. No, Tesla was planning basically a subway system that instead of using trains that run on the rails, using single occupancy self-driving cars underground, which are far less efficient and require far more computation and reliance on software in order to not completely fail. Dude was trying to reinvent the train with cars that run in tunnels. We already have something that does that job and does it better. It's called a train. The whole point of a car is you can, you know, take it where you want to go instead of only down a specific path. If you're going to limit it to a specific path, there's no reason to get rid of the rails. And the rails, like, if you got a vehicle that can only run on rails, you don't need to rely on a whole bunch of computation to be like, oh, I got to make sure it doesn't run into the walls. If the rails don't run into the walls, and the thing doesn't go so fast that it jumps the rails, guess what? It's not gonna run into the walls. All this because he hates public transportation, Mr. Muskrat. He hates public transportation. He doesn't like the idea of sharing a vehicle with anyone else. So he decides to reinvent trains as self-driving cars that run on the same principle as trains, except fewer people can fit in them, they run less often, and they're more reliant on software not making any mistakes to keep people safe. It's terrible! And because of that, California doesn't have high-speed rail yet, because he specifically said, oh, I'll build you something that's better, and it will be so much better than high-speed rail, because you won't have to share a train car with so many other people, and oh, it'll just be better. It's not better. It's slower. It doesn't go as many useful places. It takes fewer people there. It costs more. There's nothing better about it. It's awful. I hate it. I hate it so much. He's a terrible person for doing that to us, and also for doing a variety of other things. Like, say, a certain salute twice on camera that we know for a fact isn't how he says, my heart goes out to you, because we've seen him do a my heart goes out to you gesture that was not that one. Anyway,
it pleases me to be the opponent of a strong and honorable trainer like you.
Whee! I love loops. The fact that we come to a stop so soon after the loop, though, that would be jarring. And probably painful, like, whatever restraints they've got to keep us in place in those cars, those would be digging into your shoulders after that loop. By the way, there are some roller coasters. For example, in Six Flags Magic Mountain, up in Orange County, California. Yeah, some roller coasters do not have height limits and really should. There's a coaster called Viper at Six Flags Magic Mountain. Layout-wise, it's pretty fun. Like, it's got, I think, 7 inversions and some pretty interesting track layout. It's looking at it, it looks like a fun coaster, a good time. If you are above 6 feet tall, it is agony to ride that thing. The shoulder harnesses will be digging into your shoulder every single time the thing makes any change in elevation or makes any sharp turn. And when it's got 7 inversions, oh, it's so painful. I hate it. I would have loved that coaster, if not for the fact that it actually hurt to ride, because the shoulder harnesses are designed for people who are 6 foot tall or shorter. If you are taller than 6 feet tall, then there is no comfortable way to ride that coaster. It is just pain. Pain that is exacerbated whenever it does the things that are supposed to be fun. Anyway, we save before gym leaders because that's just what you do. And if memory serves, Alessa opens with an Emolga or two, and her ace is her Zebstrika. So let's prepare for that by putting our rock out front.
Did the fantastic speed leave you dizzy? My beloved Pokemon will be the next one to make your head spin.
The fun fact, Six Flags Magic Mountain does have a lot of good coasters. It's not only ones that are bad if you're too tall. And in fact, Goliath at Six Flags Magic Mountain is one of my favorite roller coasters. It doesn't have any inversions, but at the time it was built, it was the tallest roller coaster with the tallest drop. And the track layout, it's got a lot of fun humps and hills and twists and turns. It's a real fun coaster. I like it a whole lot. And the last time I was there, which this'll tell you how long ago the last time I was there was, they actually were having a collaboration with Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. And they had rethemed the coaster after Gormagala. Alright, so out comes second Emolga, but now I don't have a rock to smack it down. That's not ideal. Duot basically isn't allowed to contribute to this gym leader battle. Oh, that's cool that Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 had a Six Flags sponsorship. But yeah, Goliath is a real fun coaster. I liked it a lot. And yeah, the cars themselves had a Gormagala theming put to them, so instead of being like the original orange that they were, they got their color swapped to black with purple accents. They had a Gormagala face print on the front car. And then out front of the coaster, they had the big Gormagala statue thing that they had at a Comic-Con at a previous year, San Diego Comic-Con. I first encountered it there and have multiple pictures of myself in front of it. But yeah, they had that on display in front of the coaster as well, so neat stuff. So we know for a fact that this Emolga is faster than my Darumaka and probably wants to use Volt Switch. So I think I have to switch to Krokorok here. Though by the time I got to go to it while it was during the Monster Hunter collab, it was actually after the official end date of the collab. And they just hadn't taken away the Monster Hunter livery yet. But you could tell it had been there for a good while. All the things that were outside were sun-bleached.
You and your Pokemon are shining brilliantly.
So yeah, it was definitely not up to the same condition that it would have been in had I gone, like, right when the collab first started, when things were fresh. But still, it was neat. Having my favorite coaster at the entire venue also be themed after my favorite video game franchise. A properly dramatic victory requires a dash of something something peril. So I believe that dig right there probably wins me the battle. Yep.
I meant to make your head spin, but you shocked me instead. My oh my, you have a sweet fighting style. I mean, you're a great trainer. Excuse me, Oh, here. I want you to have this. If you have 4 badges, including this Bolt badge, Pokemon up to level 50, including traded Pokemon, will obey you. Also, here's this move I like. Feel free to use it, if you want to. Volt Switch lets the Pokemon switch with a different Pokemon after attacking. Of course, if you don't have another Pokemon in your party, you can't switch. You're going to Driftvale City next? Of course, there is a Pokemon gym there after all. Oh, I bet you won't be able to get there. You know what? I'll fix it so you can cross. Wait for me on Route 5.
Driftvale City is going to be fun to reach, mainly because it's got one of the most famous tracks of music from this game. It is very fondly remembered because it's really good. But we're not going to go there this stream. No. Because it's about time for me to call it a stream. So let's get over to the Pokemon Center and get healed up. We'll do one more Mewtwo check. Will it shine? Nope. That's fine, we got one shiny legendary today. That's enough. And that's going to be it for this stream. Thanks, folks, for dropping by to watch and chat and all that. And I will be back on tomorrow. Yeah, back tomorrow for more of this. See you then, friends.